our hero.
Can you hear that? So we're currently sat on the Eurotunnel. We're on our way back to England. And I honestly don't know how I'm feeling about it. I feel like part of me is like quite emotional that it's like 4 months has gone. Will I ever get the chance to do a 4-month trip ever again and meet you guys in the same way that we've done this? And then part of me is really excited because it's the final leg of finishing the album. After 5 months so far, it's the final stretch. And that feels weird. I'm not dancing, by the way. This is just the train. So it's a complete mix of emotions, of excitement and kind of a bit like a realization that like in my life, a trip like this, in this particular way, might never happen again. There will be many more trips that will happen, but whether or not it will be exactly like this, I don't know. Brighton is our first blooming heck, governor. This is it. We're on our way back to the UK. Well, this is it. We're back in the UK. You can probably hear the waves of Brighton Beach. Maybe you can't. So I've been trying to figure out what the next 4 weeks, the final month of this tour, is going to be for you guys. And I'm at the stage now where all the songs are there. We've written all of the songs and I need to finish recording them, make sure everything is there, ready to be signed off and finished on the 1st of September when this tour ends. So today I'm opening a project called Ghosts. Do you remember the castle in Bruges where I was sampling lots of different parts of the castle from the inside? So stamping on the floor in the chapel, we climbed up to the roof and rang the bell on top to get some samples. And then I created this beat from it. Now this beat has just been like a 4-bar loop. That's all it's been. It's been like a 10-second thing that just loops over and over and over again. That's all I've done with it so far. And I have a friend called Dean coming over today to help me write on the song. Now the concept for this song I really like, and I feel very certain what I want this song to be. I knew very early on what I want the song to be, so I kind of feel sorry for Dean in the fact that I have such a specific idea on what we're going to write, but at the same time it's kind of exciting for Dean that he has such a specific brief that we can write some lyrics to and write the melodies to. So I want the song to be about my experience when I was at the Battle of the Somme Fields. When I was at the Battle of the Somme Fields, I found this. Now this is a piece of metal with what looks like a bullet hole through it. It's certainly from that battle, and it was in the no man's land, like amongst the trenches. And I was holding this bit of metal, and for some reason I felt really connected to something. It triggered off a lot in my mind on what it would have been like walking through those fields at a very different time, 100 years ago, a century ago. And I began to realise that I have no idea who these people are or were that were fighting on these grounds. And I don't mean just by name, I mean, I have no idea about any of their lives, not one of them. And they're the reason I'm sat here able to make this video on a weekday. And that really hit home for me. But then at the same time, when I've been travelling, I've realised how many unsung heroes there are around our everyday society. I was watching a bin man this morning cleaning up after people that were around yesterday, and nobody takes a moment to sit, think and thank those people. But yet we rely on them, and we've relied on what they do in order to have the easy lives that we have. So I wanted to somehow write a song called Ghosts, and not ghosts as in physical ghosts on the battlefields, but the ghosts that keep our worlds ticking on every single day. So I'm going to show you some of the production stuff that I've done. I'm going to show you some of the sounds that I've sampled and how I've turned them into beats. And then I'm going to show you wherever we get to with the song at the moment. Okay, so this song, I'm going to show you the session. I'm going to show you the bits that I kind of started with. So in this castle, they actually had a church. They had a chapel, a private chapel. And the floor was wooden, and it just sounded great. And because it was so echoey, this is the raw, pure sample of what that sounded like. Almost sounds like distant fireworks. Now I've layered it up with a couple of other kicks that I have, just to give it a bit more depth and a bit more warmth. And it sounds pretty epic now as a kick. Like it's punchy. And I then started bulking this out. So like a hi-hat was a little, I can't even remember what it was. It was a little clicky bell thing I think I was tapping, but holding the bell so it didn't ring out. Now what I've done individually on these is change the volume on every single one of them so that it sounded more like human. When I was in Germany, I met up with a friend of mine that had this really cool analog synthesizer, and he also could make a cool sound with white noise. White noise is that stuff you have on your TV when you just turn it on and the channels don't work and it just goes shh. So we made it really super short. Like layering those up together, it's super nice. I also had some like snare hit sounds that I thought were really cool. Just various things. This was a metal box. The bit I enjoyed the most in the castle was doing these hays. Now that's a layer of about 5 or 6 of me shouting hey in the chapel. And then I also made this really weird and unusual noise when I was testing the reverb, and I really liked it. So I cut that, and that stayed around. So that beat altogether sounds like this. Really cool beat, I hope you agree. And after that, this was the castle bell up on the roof. Now what I did was I took one sample, and I put it onto my keyboard, and there's a way that you can make it so that every note on the keyboard becomes a new note for the bell, if that makes sense. So like you would with a piano, go da 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 da, I could go da 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 with the bell as well. And now my whole keyboard would then become the castle bell in Bruges. And then I started layering them up with various sounds from my actual keyboard. And then of course the piano at the end. And those 5 layers just sound beautiful to me. I love that. So then with the beat, we have this. So we're starting to move somewhere now. And this is where producer head comes in of mine, where it's like, how can we bulk this up? How can we give it defining sections and defining, like, just give it more guts? So by adding a piano, just 2 basic chords, 2 chords, also on another kind of synthesizer, same thing. Just give it that warmth and that electronic feel. And then of course a double bass. My favourite type of bass for most of my productions is double bass. So following that, I was really wanting to play on the soldier theme, the military army kind of chant, and I layered up all of these vocals you can see here with my voice of this melody that I'd written when I was like playing the beats. When I'm playing back the beats to myself, that's when the melodies and various things come for vocals and different ideas. So whilst I was making the beat and all these melodies, this melody came to mind. So I went back into the chapel once I had that melody and recorded it. How many times is that? 10 times? And they just sound huge. They sound huge now. And that is pretty much it. You can see at these moments that I've removed the piano melody just to give sections to allow space for the vocals for like the verses. But overall, this is what we have. So now it's time for vocals.
These are our goals, the bruises don't show.
Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's where we're at. We have the vocals kind of down. I need to go and play with them, but the basics of the song is there. So I hope you enjoy this little snippet of a song called Ghost.
Those guys that fought on the line, giving up their lives so that we had the time. All of this stays here on my mind. I don't have to worry cause they laid down their lives. Have a think with a drink in your hand. Tell me how it got there when you wandered around. Take it back a century and figure it out. Take it back a century and figure it out. These are our ghosts that nobody knows. We don't know about their battles cause they're dealing with scars that we can't handle. These are our ghosts Their bruises don't show. We don't care about their struggles. Our unsung heroes in the shadows.
So Amory and his family at the chateau, I have you guys to thank you for helping make such an awesome song with such an awesome story. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to share with you maybe 3 more songs across the next month in the next videos. I hope that's something you're looking forward to, getting a bit more of an insight into the sessions themselves, ready to sign it all off on the 1st of September. Thank you so much to Jaffe, Analog Dragon and Grace Pashley for your comments this week on YouTube. I appreciate you guys and everybody else that's left a comment. I will see you next Wednesday. Hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want to be notified when my videos go up on Wednesday, just in case you forget, you know. I will see you next week. Take care, look after each other, and remember, never stop creating. Woo!